Disclaimer, this video is strictly about the Xbox Code of Conduct, and I will not be mentioning the console, the competitors, or its games. This is only about the Code of Conduct. Also, I have no hate towards Xbox employees, or whoever's at Xbox. I only have hate towards the Xbox Code of Conduct. I don't need Xbox employees suspending my account, or Xbox fanboys coming after me saying I'm stupid. Anyways, guys, enjoy the video. The Xbox Code of Conduct is complete garbage. If you haven't seen my recent video I posted, I was recently suspended on Xbox for communications, pretty much because I sent a message. Now, I'm not going to share the message because I'm just lazy, first off, and second off, I'll just tell you what the message says. So pretty much what happened was, after a game of Rainbow Six Siege, the guy, I accidentally team killed him. I was shooting somebody, and he walked right in front of me, and I accidentally team killed him. He messaged me trash, and already during the game, he was being toxic. He was just not looking where the enemies were. When we spot the enemies, he was looking at a wall. Just really stuff that is just really stupid. So after I accidentally team kill him, he messaged me trash. I was like, and I messaged him exactly this. I said, says the loser. I'm trying to remember it. I know I said, says the loser. I said, says the loser with 2 kills and is at the bottom of the leaderboards is not paying the fuck attention to where the enemies are when we spot them. Then he messaged me, oh, you don't get yourself hurt over a team, hurt yourself. Your team kill, your TK cost us the game. When it didn't, because we were already losing 1-3 and our teammate left, so it didn't cost us the game. We were bound to lose either way. So, and then I'm pretty sure the guy reports me right after that, because like as soon as like minutes or even seconds after I sent that message, I'm suspended. I'm like, there's no way. So days pass and I'm trying to appeal my freaking thing, but in order to appeal, you have to take a quiz on the Code of Conduct. And it's really dumb because the questions are sometimes not even on the Code of Conduct. You have to dig even further than the Code of Conduct to find the answer to these questions, which is already stupid in itself. So some of the questions would be like, your friend's playing on your account and he gets it suspended. Can you get rid of the suspension just automatically? And the answer is no, because it is your account, blah, blah, blah. But it's just dumb questions like that. Some of them would be questions you would think are right or wrong, but they're actually not. Like, I'll try kind of give you some examples. So, first off, I got banned for pretty much trash talking after the guy just sent me trash. He called me trash. He was already being toxic in the game. And I just sent him a message, pretty much being just slightly toxic, but he was already being toxic. And one of the questions it gave me for the Code of Conduct was, it is okay to trash talk as long as it doesn't escalate into hate speech and violence, which my conversation didn't. But I click, no, it's not okay, because I got suspended pretty much for trash talking. The quiz said, that's wrong, you can trash talk. And I'm like, why? Why did I get banned then? And I'm just going to go over just a bunch of the Code of Conduct. And before we do, I'm going to show you the exact... I finally got to appeal after hours and days. I finally got to appeal, and they didn't uplift the ban because of this one thing. And I'm about to read it to you, the entire thing. So the message starts off, once the appeal went through and they gave me a final statement. It says, hello Gucci Theodles, and thank you for using Cast Review. We understand your frustration with the matter, and we are happy to further explain the enforcement action and this has received. Our records show that the 7-day suspension was issued due to an inappropriate communication activity that included using the profanity, including the term fuck. When a user is reported, XBLPET looks into the complaint in order to verify the violation to Microsoft's Code of Conduct. Did it factor occur? This continues by saying there are multiple factors that we have to take into account at XBLPET takes in evidence-based approach when considering issues in the suspension, and we can assure that your suspension are only issued as a result of a specific violation of the code of conduct. Our goal is to create a safe and welcome environment for all, and so the XBLPET strongly suggests refraining from using this type of language when communicating with other players on Xbox Live going forward. We know that receiving an enforcement can be a frustrating experience, but our job is to make sure Xbox Live is a place where everyone can, and that's where it ends. I'll go on to the next part. Can have fun. When players are using that word, these words, I don't even know, or profane language, regardless of the reason, it can result in people's feelings unwelcome and unsafe. Following the further review, it was determined that enforcement action was warranted, and so we are unable to lift the suspension. At the conclusion of the suspension, all functions will be automatically restored, and we look forward to your positive participation on Xbox Live for additional information, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty much telling me that this is bullshit. So you're probably looking right now and you're like, what? Oh, you did something wrong. You used the F word. But you have to take something into consideration. I will go over the code of conduct because there is nowhere specifically where it says you cannot say the F word or certain words, and it should give you a list of what words you should and shouldn't use. But would you, and listen, this was a big thing around Halo. People were using the N word, people were using the F word, no matter what skin tone they were, no matter who they were. They were using these in game, and nobody got banned. Maybe very little, but you have to take it into consideration. When you are going to make a console and have an online experience, you don't know who these people are, what they're doing, and whatever they're saying. This is why you add a block feature, which Xbox does. You don't report a message, you block them. When you know you are feeling unsafe, you block them. Unless it is actually a serious thing like terrorism, they are talking shit about your religion, they are actually going to harm you, that is when you complain or report it to the police. Because I use one word, an F word, the F word, you're gonna ban me. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. You remember, when you're going to have an online experience with many people, you're going to expect this toxicity. This is why you have a block feature. When that block feature is in, you block the player and not report them. It is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of when you just complain or make a complaint just because they use the F word. And let me make another complaint. It's literally saying because I used the F word. It's not telling me in the way I used it or what. So it's pretty much saying that no matter how you use it in the conversation, if you're talking to a friend, if you're just talking about a game and you're just like, oh, F this, or if you're just like, F you as in a joke, just no matter the context or what it is, if you let's say your friend, you sent to your friend, you just say the F word because they sent something, you're just like, fuck, ha ha ha, just something funny like that. Your friend can report you and you can get suspended because of this, because you use the F word. I want to try to test this, but I don't want to get my account banned again. And this is the problem. And it's just really bad when you have a system like this, because if it would have told me the way I use the F word, I would have been fine. And it only said the F word. It's not even because I called the kid a loser. The kid called me trash. I called him a loser and used the F word. They only say, oh, the F word. They don't care what the context is of the F word. They don't care in what situation it is. You use it, you are banned. And it just blows my mind. Now, I'm going to read this section of the Code of Conduct and go over some other things that are not, well, they are, but they're really not. They're a separate page. But I'm going to go over the part of the Code of Conduct where it talks about language and hate speech and stuff like that. And I will show you exactly kind of what it says. And it really doesn't put towards what I'm saying. Now, there's a lot on the screen right now, but I want you to look at the part where it says, don't harm or harass. For example, don't engage in self-harm, encourage violence against people or animal, scream at, imitate, or bully others, violate another person's privacy, share somebody's personal info, fail to protect your account, device, and personal information. That's literally the one part. And there's another part about harassment, but nowhere in there does it talk about using profane language like the F word. Now, there's again a lot of stuff on the screen, but look at the content that can harm or harass another person, including yourself or an animal, for example. Profane words or phrases. That is the part it is pretty much suspending me for, but I'm going to go back to that. Suicide-related content, negative speech, including hate speech or threats of harm, noises which excessive speech intend to interfere or disrupt another person's grouping ability or enjoyment of a game, and content showing or promoting animal abuse. Well, there's the part we found it. You're saying right now, you're like, oh, there it is. You use profound language. And I realized that. I realized I used it and it is in the code of conduct. But I have a slight problem with this. Why is it not giving me a list of words I can and cannot use? Because there is a problem. There are words out there that some people like using and some people don't like using. When I'm going to message or talk to a person, I don't know what's going to offend a person and what's not going to offend a person. For example, the word retard. A lot of people don't like using that word, and some people like using that word. I don't want to go on there and there's actually like somebody with a mental disability and I call them a retard. I fully deserve to be suspended. But if there's somebody out there who actually likes that word and likes using it and they call me a retard, I call them a retard and they call me a retard, but then they report me and I'm suspended, there's a fine lining right there. There's a complete lining where it's like, hey, this is dumb. Why can that person use it and they not get banned, but they use it, I use it against them and they report me and I'm automatically banned? I just don't get it. We need certain words, because if you give us certain words, we just won't say them. But then again, if you give us certain words, some of these words could be words that we actually like using, and then we just can't say them anymore because one person got offended. Why this is also a big deal is because we have a lot more social justice warriors and feminists on Xbox, PlayStation, or whatever console it is, coming on here and saying, you don't know if that person's a he or she, you should not say that, I am reporting you. And because companies are getting more politically correct, somebody's eventually going to get banned for just saying the word he or she. And this is where I draw a fine lining, because this could be a part where somebody's like, hey, this is hate speech. This is a profound word. Because this is the problem. Because all somebody can do is report somebody and say, hey, they used a profane word. This word is this, like he or she. I identify as this. They should get banned. And they will get banned, because if not, there'll be an article out there and then all the feminists will go after Xbox. And this is the fine lining right here. This is the part where it just really makes me angry. Because eventually when that does happen, hopefully it never does, we're just eventually going to say it on the Xbox instead of saying, oh, you're a he, you're a she. No, you're an it. You're an it, which I'm not going to enjoy. Now, here's another part. Now, again, there's a lot on the screen, and this part is labeled, I checked the code of conduct and what you banned me for isn't listed. How is this possible? Ignore all the other parts. You can read it if you want. But the one part, it says, for instance, one example of harmful content described negative speech directs at people who belong to a group, including group based on race, ethnic, nationality, language, gender, age, disability, veteran status, religion, or sexual orientation expression. However, there are other forms of negative speech that may be subject to enforcement, despite not being directed to one of these specific groups. And you just read that part, sexual orientation and gender. Again, this is a problem. When somebody on the internet is actually a woman or a girl, but they may sound like something else. For example, this happened a lot back in the early days, where a little kid would come on, and they'd be like, it'd be like a little boy, and they'd be like, oh, are you a little girl? Nobody was reported back there, and nobody got banned. But because companies are now so politically correct, if you call somebody a he or a she, you can be banned for that. Just automatically banned because you said he or she. Now, I could be wrong, but this is what it's looking towards. And this is scary because it's going to get to a point where just nothing, like you won't be able to say anything. And I think this is another main reason why you go into Call of Duty lobbies and stuff like this and nobody talks. Because back in the day, you could send a message to anybody and nobody would report you. And it was the greatest thing ever. But now, because you have political correct people and just using retard, shit, fuck, calling somebody he or she, can just get you banned. It just blows my mind. And he even talks about, if they're not to a specific group, what do you, like, that even goes, like, part of where I say he or she, like, calling somebody he or she when they're not, and then that gets you banned. This is scary. This is really scary. Now, this final part, it just really triggers me, and this is why I get banned. Will I get banned just because I received a complaint? And you see that first word. No. This is exactly what happened to me, and I put it in my appeal, and guess what? They said, well, I mean, I guess they were right. This is how bad Xbox doesn't go with their code of conduct. And the worst part is that these things, these code of conducts were last updated in 2015, which doesn't seem a lot, but things change, okay? 2015, that was, what, 4 years ago? Because 2019 now, I think. I hope I do math right. But, seriously, like, come on, man. Like, I don't want to live in a world in Xbox where if I say one word, it's gonna get me banned. And it's just not fun. And they always talk about we need a healthy and safe environment so you can talk with your friends or whatever. This is not healthy and safe. You're going to get to a point where nobody's going to say anything, nobody's going to buy your microphones, and you're going to go out of business. This is a problem. I don't know what, and again, at the disclaimer, I said I wouldn't talk about competitors. I don't know what PlayStation's code of conduct is. Maybe it's better, maybe it's worse or the same. But I'm just saying, if you're going to get an Xbox, just my advice is don't message people, don't respond to messages, and don't talk to anybody that is not your friend. You will automatically get banned if you are taking a big risk if you're just talking in a lobby or you're messaging somebody. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Shout out to my Patreon, Kyle. It is a new month. He paid me. I got my money. Shout out to Kyle. Thanks for the money, loser. But he's gonna have his 30-second video. I promise. When you pay $5 or whatever, if you want to support me, links in the description. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna end off there. Goodbye.
Sit. Okay, well, whatever. It's puppies. Puppies. Sit. Yeah, good job. Give me paw. No, not your face. Give me your damn paw. Fucking black.